Hello everyone, I'm gonna ask you a simple question. Do you think you are experienced enough compared to your playtime in Forsaken? If you answered yes in your head, then you might be deceived by the content of this video, because I want to talk about a more specific problem that is currently plaguing Forsaken, which is playtime inflation. First, we'll see what playtime inflation means and how it affects Forsaken, then we'll cover how it can be fixed. So, playtime inflation is basically a phenomenon where players in Forsaken have more playtime than skill and experience during a round. In other words, the value associated with their skill level is lower or way lower than their playtime. And it's something I'm seeing way more often than when I started playing the game. It may seem logical at first glance, since the game is getting older. People's playtime will just increase over the course of time. Well, I understand this argument, but then the player's skill level should also go up, since there's Forsaken tutorials coming out every day and people have more time to adapt to the game. So we should have better players, right? But not at all. Players with 7 to 10 days of playtime, which corresponds to 240 hours of experience, should be decent at the game. But nope, they still miss obvious shots with chance, drink a cola in front of the killer during an LMS, and many more bullshit moves that a 6 hours would do a few months ago. But then what happened? Did all of Grow Garden's community join Forsaken's? I don't think so. It's more about players not improving while playing the game. At the end of the day, it's just a game. You're supposed to have fun your way and not the other way around. Though nowadays people will put less effort into a game and expect it to reward them instantly, instead of them seeking the reward the game will offer to them. Everyone should do that without hindering the other players' performances and fun. Yes, I'm gonna give my opinion a little bit. I just hate dying to a killer because I'm the first person he saw and started targeting without ever being helped by my team, just doing what the fuck they're doing on the map. And to nobody's surprise, each one of them dies in 15 seconds. And it's so infuriating having to find a server with good people in it so you can enjoy both survivor and killer gameplay. But there are a few solutions to that problem. As you already probably know, Forsaken implemented noob server, which players get put into if they have less than a day of playtime. But people ask for pro servers. Forsaken, despite the demand, never wanted to input them into the game. But the point I've been making in this video is that a player's experience cannot be defined by his playtime, but rather by another metric, survivor and killer wins. Because even if the guy has 27 days of playtime in the game, he won't be able to join if he doesn't meet a wins requirement, which actually proves your capability to win as a killer and as a survivor. And now this filters high playtime, low skill players and creates casual servers which anybody can join, and pro servers which only competent players can join. Now obviously some people are gonna say wins don't mean skill either, and yes, I get it, because you can get carried, you can get lucky, you can win by doing absolutely nothing, especially as a survivor. But let's be real for a second. If someone has 500 survivor wins, even if 200 of them were carried by his team, they still had to play enough rounds to understand how the game works. They're not gonna be out here running into the killer like a lost NPC or hiding in a corner the entire match while their whole team gets wiped. And the same goes for killer wins. If you got 250 killer wins, you're not gonna be missing every single hit and letting survivors loop you for 6 minutes straight like you're doing an Undertale pacifist run. You actually know what you're doing. So wins aren't the perfect metric, but compared to playtime, it's way better, like it's not even close. So yeah, at the end of the day, playtime inflation is a real problem, and it's only getting worse as Forsaken keeps growing, because right now the game is full of players who look experienced on paper, but in reality they still play like they joined the game yesterday. And I'm not saying everyone needs to become some competitive sweat who studies Forsaken like his final exam, but if you've got 8 days of playtime and you still don't know basic survival fundamentals like looping and juking maybe, then something is clearly wrong. And that's why pro servers would actually be a good idea, because it gives skilled players a place where they can enjoy the game without feeling like they're playing Babysitter Simulator. And it gives casual players their own space too, where they can just chill and learn at their own pace. Well, I don't know if people will agree on this one. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video and see you in the next one.